Hey everybody, this is Peter J. Pappas with the Compass Brevard team, and this is my first podcast with Coastal Luxury Image, and I'm very excited about it. And I want to talk to you today about referrals and prospecting. And to help me do that, I brought two amazing people, Maddy Rehorn, who's a colleague of mine at Compass, and Nate Jomaa from U Mortgage. Maddy, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm actually not from Florida. I moved here, I guess, 3 years ago now. I absolutely love the place. Totally fell in love with it. I don't like cold weather, so that's the main reason why I moved here, because it's not cold here. I was in insurance prior to this, and I'm originally from Sacramento, so I went to school over in California, got a degree, was in car insurance, and then COVID hit crazy in California, so I was like, I'm going to get out of here. So I moved to the East Coast, and then my sister actually bought me the real estate class for Christmas 3 years ago, and then I took it, and here I am. And I actually love it. Like, out of all the jobs I've had a lot of jobs too, like maybe like 15 or so. It's definitely my favorite. So
that's awesome.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me, Peter.
Of course. And Nate, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to go right into discussion because you're a big part of this discussion. I feel like you and I have had a symbiotic relationship somewhat since 2019. So go ahead and tell us about you.
So Nate Jomaa, I'm one of the branch leaders with U Mortgage, handling most of Central Florida. I grew up in Connecticut, which, as Peter knows from talking with me, is the home of the best pizza in the world. New Haven style pizza. It's the best. You can't get any better pizza. So I got into the mortgage business years ago. I've got a little over 14 years of experience. There was a little bit of break in between during some of the slower times, but I was persistent. I got back into it, and I've been doing very well and working with a lot of different home buyers and home sellers over the last several years.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Why the pizza?
Why the pizza? I'm not telling you from my experience that it's the best pizza. I'm telling you from everybody's who's ever had its experience that it's the best pizza. New Haven style pizza is the best pizza in the world. David Portnoy will tell you that it's the best.
Bite.
Yeah, he'll tell you it's the best pizza.
So I'm from New Jersey, and
they don't have pizza in New Jersey.
I disagree.
So
okay, whatever. Moving on. So we're talking about referrals and prospecting, and ultimately asking for the business.
Yeah.
And I want to go back to 2019 when I was finishing up my first year. I would say I was probably about 3/4 of my first year of real estate was just about done, and you called me one day, and you were like, hey, I'm Nate Jomaa. I just got back into the mortgage business, and I want to work with you. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Delete. Yeah. But you were very persistent, and I admired that. Forward a few months, we had conversations, and we probably would have worked together. There was somebody I was mentoring who did use you. I said, yeah, he's a great guy. He's a hustler. I happened to step out of real estate for a year, and you and I never really worked together, but we did stay in touch, and we started marketing together.
Yep.
And through that led us to where we are now, where we're always collaborating, talking about how to get business from our clients, how to get business from new clients. What do you remember about all that? Like when we...
I remember it a lot like that.
Yeah.
I would call you in and tell you, hey, I really want to get together.
Right.
Just like every other mortgage guy does to every other real estate agent, right?
Right.
But the difference, and you pointed it out, is I know who I want to work with, and I stay persistent in trying to get in front of those people. I don't believe that giving somebody a call 3 or 4 times and then giving up is the way to go if you really want a relationship with somebody. So I continued to call you and continued to say, hey, let's get together. And we did eventually meet at some point and realized that, hey, like we're pretty similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The way we approach business is pretty similar. We have similar, I guess, dry humor. So, I mean, like we became pretty good friends pretty quickly and realized that our friendship and our business relationship really could bring us to a point where we could step out of the box that we were in and help our clients and help each other a lot more than, just continuing the phone tag game.
Yeah. So I'm a realtor who doesn't do a lot of cold calling. I don't do a lot on door knocking. What I do is go to my sphere of influence.
Yeah.
And I'll ask for the business.
Sure.
I'm very straightforward about it. I try not to be obnoxious about it. I like to say I go right up to the line of obnoxious.
Yeah, I live there too. I get it.
A colleague of ours said that should be the name of my autobiography, right up to the line of obnoxious. So yeah, I think that's worked for me, and I always try now to fine tune that. Like how is the best way? I know that networking is important, but you also don't want to like throw these networking. You used to throw these great networking happy hours.
Yeah.
And it would always end up being, after a while, initially it was great. We'd meet all these new people.
Yep.
And then after a while, it started getting where it's the same people.
That's right.
And it was kind of redundant and not productive.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess the secret sauce is just changing things up as much as possible. Maybe even like quarterly or...
That's exactly what I was going to say. You have to continue to do things like that. Consistency pays off, just like persistence pays off, but you also have to be able to refresh and change it up so that it stays new and fresh. Because to your point, people are going to get really tired if it's the same thing all the time.
Right.
If it's the same location, the same time, the same this, the same that, it's going to get stale. And when people see it in their timeline on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, they scroll past it because it's, I've already seen that.
Right.
You have to change it up, for sure.
So staying fresh, changing it up, and doing something different. That's why I wanted Maddy here. Maddy does a great job with her marketing. She is she does a lot of different things that I don't do. She does these amazing TikTok videos, which I love. Love to watch them. And I think that's a great way to open up a door and have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah. I think at first, like TikTok, when you first saw the app, you were like almost disgusted and embarrassed by it.
Yes.
You were like, I don't want anything to do with this. And I almost, we were all making fun of it there, here and there for a little bit. But, like your kid is on the playground, they're hanging out with their friends. They hear a word and they just can't stop saying it. And you're like, could you please stop saying that word? But then you catch on to it and you're almost saying it ironically to make fun of them. But then it catches on a couple weeks later, and then you keep saying it unironically. And now it's just a part of your vocabulary.
Sure.
That's kind of how I felt of the start of TikTok and I, where I just made fun of it. And then I was like, you know what, let's just try it. And then I did it like kind of funny, like as in I was making fun of TikTok. But then now I'm just like fully dove into TikTok. And
Oh, absolutely.
now I'm just like making Lindsay, because I also work for the Whitney team, and I run her social media page. And I'm forcing Lindsay to do those TikToks. I know Lindsay dreads filming with me, but we try to make it fun. I try to add some TikToks in there. We want to be like the knowledge broker, but at the same time, we also want to like have fun with it. You don't
want to put people to sleep.
Yeah.
Which a lot of like information overload does.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I've brought a more fun side to the Whitney team of just not being like, I don't know, because when I'm watching something, and a lot of people my age like are kind of thinking about buying homes now, or whatever, or selling homes, but people her age or a little bit younger, they already have houses that they're going to buy and sell. They also do want the knowledge broker stuff, but at the same time, I'm a part of a younger generation that does like to see more fun, interactive, relatable things. So I'm trying to make them relatable, like a blooper reel or just something silly, like just some stupid TikTok. And it actually ends up being the one with the most views.
Sure.
That's typically how those things go, right? The silly things that you do tend to get the most eyes on them.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a genius strategy to go to have a bunch of serious stuff where like you're giving information, you're sharing updates, education, and then having some attention grabber.
Yeah.
People might not realize that you even have things. Yeah. So you put out something that's funny or an attention grabber, and then they'll start looking through other things and go, oh, wow, this guy or this girl has a lot to add, or they're instilling something or they're adding value. So I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah, I love it.
You were doing TikToks.
Let's do a TikTok after this.
We need to do it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So I have had this love-hate relationship with putting out my TikToks. Like, I'm a big fan of TikTok. I love to scroll through TikTok and see a lot of educational stuff from the real estate side, from insurance, from mortgage,
Yeah.
I use that as, I wouldn't say a source of news, but that's typically where news breaks, is going to be on social media.
Yeah.
You're not going to find
totally.
breaking news on TV. You're going to find it on social media, on Twitter, on TikTok, things like that.
Yeah.
So I use it as an educational piece for me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's hilarious when I'm scrolling through and somebody that I know is very serious, that's an educator, has some goofy thing. Because back to what I was saying, it's an attention grabber and they're bringing in more people in.
Yeah.
And I know you do that. I mean, you do it because that's your flavor and like who your audience is.
Yeah.
I would do it as an attention grabber.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to tease you a little bit. I'd be like, oh, look at Nate doing those TikTok videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, Peter and I have this relationship where like we both want each other to succeed, like to the moon, but we also like pick on each other a lot. And I think that fuels us thinking outside of the box a lot.
Yeah.
Like, Peter does a lot of really cool stuff that I think is like genius.
Oh yeah, that video you just put out.
That, like, I don't think that he understands like how much I admire some of the stuff that he does, but I think like Peter's really, really good at getting in front of people and staying consistent. And
Definitely. Yeah.
the Peter brand is something like I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Thank you. I do appreciate that. And I always like to try and be the first. I like to be different. I don't want to copy what everybody else has just done. I mean, why?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I remember in 2019, I did a video similar to the one that just came out this week. And it was really, nobody was really doing video at the time. And I remember my broker at the time was like, why are you even doing this? But he was impressed. He was like, this is really cool. At first he was like, why? And then he was like, oh, yeah. I've just always tried to be that way. When I moved down here in 2015, I opened up a comic book shop. I had to get people to come and buy a dead medium. So I had to think of different. I had to come and think of ways to make it fun. So I would have people dressing up. I used to dress up. I still have like 30 superhero costumes.
You do.
But I had to get people. I used to have to get people into that store and like make that part of their routine.
I think also another thing with TikTok and just really any video, like there are going to be people that are in the back of your head, and it's almost like the little guy on your shoulder telling you not to do it, because there's going to be so many people that are annoyed by you and all that stuff. But a huge thing is like, I mean, you get annoyed with what other people put out too. You know, we all get annoyed with what other people put out, but we also love what other people put out. Like there's two sides to it. So like, there's always going to be someone that's just not going to like what you do. And that's totally fine. Like,
Absolutely.
it's totally fine that you like what I do. It's totally fine if you don't like what I do. And I'm not going to, I think a big like hurdle was just getting over that and like figuring, like just coming to terms with like, it's totally fine. Like just unfollow me if you don't like it,
Right,
you know?
right.
I
I mean, if you have
that's a big
haters,
thing.
you're doing something right.
If they're not talking about you, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
No publicity is bad publicity.
Yeah,
Right,
I know.
right.
Let me send you this video that I hate. Let me send it to 5 or 10 other people.
Yeah. No, totally.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Very true.
it is hard to get in front of the camera though. I mean, sheesh. I probably deleted all of the videos that I first started recording because I was like, I never want to see this ever. Put this 6 feet under the ground
You
in
are
a
your
time
own
capsule.
harshest critic, though.
Yeah.
Right? And even like something like this is when you start sitting down and talking, you don't know where it's going to go, but now it's just so organic, you know, you don't even, we forget the microphones are in front of us.
Right.
Dwayne always says it's better done than
Perfect.
perfect, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is a huge stumbling block for so many people, right?
Yeah.
My terrible marketing is better than your no attempt at marketing at all.
Totally.
Right.
100%.
I'm trying. You know, at the very least, people are going to see that I'm a hustler.
Sure.
And I care. That's the message I always try and portray to people who don't know me, whether if it's on social media. I'll just want them to at least know that I care and I'll work hard for them.
Yeah.
You know, maybe the video wasn't great, but I do care.
Right, and that's the point, though, Peter. Right, it doesn't have to be some highly produced, like amazing video. You just have to put something out and be consistent at doing it, and just capture the attention of somebody.
Right.
And I think that is the stumbling block that so many people. Oh, I need to have this specific equipment. I have to have this fancy mic. I have to have this lighting. You don't have to get started. Yeah. Having these things is amazing.
Right.
I'm not downplaying it. It's amazing, but it's not a barrier to entry.
Right.
Yeah.
We used to film your TikToks in your dining room.
Yeah, exactly. Like it doesn't
And
matter.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Because there was a banner behind it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, I'm giving away your secret.
No, it's fine. No secrets.
Yeah.
My office is in my dining room.
Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't look like that, and it was great.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So stop making excuses and get to work. That's it.
I like that.
Yeah.
We're done.
I do think consistency is definitely like
sure.
the key.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're going to put out a whole, like you're excited for it for a month because everybody's excited when they first start to do something. And then you like have all these creative ideas and everything. And then you've only put out like 3 of them. And then you get tired of it. There's going to be no return on that.
Right.
And it's not that we're like really looking for like a return as of right now. Like I think leads will come out of it as we go along. If we like, you know, when we boost stuff on like Facebook or something, we do see leads come out of that. But out of like our Instagram posts of being just like consistent and just like kind of just getting the word, just branding ourselves, we're just trying to be like the knowledge broker, and you come to us, we'll know what, you know, where you should go eat if you're in this location, or, you know, whatever the market's doing at that time in this area, because it's just different everywhere. So I think that for Instagram, at least, we're not like so worried on the return on investment. I think it's just more like, this is a Whitney team, or this is Peter, this is Nate. We're just trying to get our name out there and like be known. Or even like back to referral business. If someone is over, you know, in California or New York or something, they want to look up Space Coast Realtor, and we have all this content that we've been posting like 5 days a week, you know, they're going to want to work with you. And if you're also relatable, then they're definitely going to be like, this person likes to fish. This person likes to eat tacos. I don't know. Exactly. I like to eat tacos.
Yeah, that's a huge point, right? You don't want to always be your business person.
Yeah.
Because that makes you a business. That makes you a commodity.
Yeah.
We're all people, right? Mm-hmm. Peter's really into, comics and, you know, the different universes of all the different comic.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about it, so I'm just grasping the straws here. But that's what...
Is he doing okay?
But Peter has an audience of those people, right? So he's going to relate to those people outside of real estate.
Totally. Yeah.
I am really into... music, guitar, different things like that. I'm not as into the stuff that Peter's into, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a natural attraction to musicians, to guitarists, to people that, I'm Middle Eastern, people that are Middle Eastern, like Peter's Greek. So he's going to have an attraction to other people that are, Grecian. So there's things that we do in our everyday business that make us business people, but we're still people behind the scenes, right?
Yeah.
So those are the people that we need to continue to reach out to through our social, through our videos, all the different things that we're doing, because those are the audiences that we want to attract. Back to working our spheres of influence, that's a sphere of influence for Peter, right?
Yeah.
The comic people, the people that, are into the movies, into the comic books, into the comic cons, is that the right word? Yeah. Things so like that's a huge marketing opportunity for Peter.
Yeah.
Right? Not for me, probably not for you. I've never been to one of those, and if I did go, I feel like I would have to really take some time to stand and to watch what's going on to even be able to connect.
Yeah.
Peter could walk in and connect immediately.
It's true, but I even like to stand back and just watch because it's just so cool. But that's kind of off topic. But
Right.
I love what you're saying because it's true. I'll tell you what, sometimes on my social media, the posts that get the most likes and most interaction are when I like to go out to eat a lot.
The puppies.
Yeah, the puppies too. But I go out to eat a lot, and I love to take pictures of my food. It's just what I do. I'll either put it on my story, or sometimes I'll throw it on the actual social media.
Phone has to eat first.
I love that. Yeah, I saw that the other day that you or Melena had posted that, and I thought it was hilarious. The phone has to eat first.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So, but whenever I do that, and I think I need to like start doing a little bit more of that, like maybe even like a video spotlight each month of a restaurant, a favorite restaurant, just so people can see that, oh, hey, he always posts really good food, and maybe they'll, engage me a little bit more that way too. But almost always when I do go to a really cool place, post the meal, somebody will have, it's happened like 4 times in a row now. Somebody has commented and then gone to eat almost immediately. Really? So I'm like, hey, tell them I sent you.
Yeah.
Right. I want some credit here.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. So we're talking about asking for the business, and the other thing that is a goal of mine, and it's a huge goal of mine. I think once I get to this level, this is something that I know that Dwayne Carpenter and Kirk Kessel have. It's in your sphere being the first thought, top of mind. When somebody is saying, oh, I'm going to buy or sell a house, you want your friend or your sphere, your former client, to be like, oh, you have to use Peter Pappas, or oh, you have to use Maddy. Yeah. Oh, you have to use Nate.
Yeah.
And I don't have that yet. I know there's a few people. I've got like 4 or 5 people that do that for me, and I'm super grateful because I've gotten a lot of business from them.
Sure.
Yeah.
But the other day, going back to superhero movies, I was watching The Flash with a bunch of dads and our kids. And we're sitting down, and the previews are playing, and, we're just making chit-chat. And he goes to me, oh, I'm in this carpool. He commutes to work from Vieira to Orlando every day. And he goes, and one of the people in my carpool is going to be moving, so we're going to have to get a new person in our carpool. I said, oh, what... do they own a house here? He says, yeah, a real nice house right on the river. So now I'm already annoyed. So I'm just playing along for a little bit, though. I'm like, oh, and they're going to sell this house? And he's like, yeah, I guess. And they're going to buy another house. He goes, yeah, but it's in Orlando. I said, but the house they're selling is here in Brevard, right? He's like, yeah. And I'm a realtor, right? He's like, yeah. Did you tell them that they should use me? It's like, I never thought of that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I know he's not telling them to use somebody else.
Sure.
But so how I'm telling you, that's the secret to going from here to all the way up there for anybody. When you can get your sphere, your friends, your clients to have you top of mind. Because that's the foundation of our business, right?
Right. Yeah. That goes back to what I was saying about consistency. If you consistently remind your spheres of influence what you do, and you don't have to be overbearing. Like, you don't have to send them postcards with your picture on it, right? But just reminding them that you're in real estate. I struggle with the exact same thing. I've got close friends of mine that have refinanced homes and go, I didn't know you could do refinances. I mean, well, sure I can. I can help you buy the home, but I can also help you refinance the home. Right. So I'm not perfect either, but it's a matter of making sure that you're consistently getting in front of these people with the messaging that I'm a real estate agent. I sell houses. I can help you buy a house. And then they will stay top of mind with you. So top of mind awareness, TOMA. I'm sure you've heard that. It's not something that I created. Right. But staying top of mind with them and reminding them what you do is part of that consistency thing.
And the coffee clutches, I think, help a lot with that, or just even asking them to go to dinner or breakfast or whatever it may be. I think Lindsay does that a lot, and I think that, definitely puts in a little seed in their head, that she stays top of mind, because naturally, it's not that you're going to talk about real estate the whole time, or that's not the purpose of it, but it's just, how's your life going? How's work going? It just naturally comes up. So I think it's always going to be if you have one coffee clutch or one dinner a week with one of your friends, I think that helps stay at top of mind, because, they know a million people. Their friends know other people, So I think that's a huge thing that Lindsay does, at least.
Our business, our industry is exhausting when it's done right.
Yes.
Right. Because it means you have to be out there. You have to be doing all these things. Besides, the follow-up, the emails, when I said I don't like cold calling, I don't. But I do call the heck out of people that have come to my open house, or, people that are in my sphere, or whatnot. So I'm always on the phone. I'm always making emails. You guys do the same thing. Yeah. And then at night, sometimes you really don't feel like doing much, or even, sometimes I don't really, I'm lucky. A lot of my friends are my, are people that I work with, and, I can also network with them. Yeah. So I can combine the two ish. But if I had to just do that all the time, like this past weekend, it was one of those weekends where I didn't have the kids, and I'm usually out on a Friday or Saturday night. I stayed home both nights. Just because, I was like, I don't really want to, I need to recharge these batteries.
Yeah, totally. This job is such a social job too. And it's crazy that some people are, some people are introverted, you know. I'm kind of extroverted, probably a lot extroverted, but I feel like when introverted people are in this job, I'm like, how could you do this? Because I know, like, even like being extroverted, you two are both extroverted.
Extremely.
Yeah. So even when you're out in a social setting, you do, like, your batteries do get a little, like,
Right.
Yeah.
Most cases, like if it's the morning or something like that, then I get like recharged by other people's energy. And I feed off of that. But even in like situations where, you know, you are literally talking all day, you're like always trying to make a new connection or talk to an old friend or do something, like by the end of the day, you are exhausted.
You are.
And it's not even because like I'm not an extrovert or something, or I'm an introvert, but it's just because at the end of the day, like, it's just, you want to just decompress. Like, you don't really want to talk to anybody else. Right. And that's why I do the social media at night, typically. Because if I'm doing it during the day, then I'm just, like, moseying around and la la la. But at night, I feel like I can, like, it's kind of fun at night because I'm more creative. But during the day, I'd say I'm more creative with talking. Yes. Brain creative at night, talking during the day.
I actually work a lot from 9 to 11 at night.
Yeah.
Just because my kids are usually either in bed or not around, and it's just a time where I can get a lot done. I'm never going to be one of those guys that gets up at 4:30 a.m. because I'm just not. But I do work late. I work late. That's just that I put the hours in. I just do it in different times.
I feel targeted.
Yeah.
Are you a 4 a.m.er?
Peter knows. I get up really, really early, and I knock out a bunch of stuff in the morning before the sun comes up, before my phone starts to ring. I would say I'm most productive between like 4:30 and 8:30. Like, I have a 4-hour block there where I have no interruptions, and I just knock out a lot.
When do you go to bed?
Oh, I'm fast asleep by like 8 or 9 o'clock at night.
That's not always true because sometimes we text at 11, so I don't know.
Get 4 hours of sleep over here.
Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't sleep much. That's what I'm trying to say. Listen, he's a hard worker.
Yeah, but it's true. I am a hard worker. I'm not laughing because it's not true, but Peter and I like to give each other a nice ribbing every now and then.
Of course.
Something you said earlier that I wanted to mention: when you're following up with people from open houses, from whoever, sometimes having a separate voice also contact them changes things, because there's been times that Peter and I have followed up with someone that we've met at an open house, and they might be more receptive to speak to me or more receptive to speak to Peter. There's been times that I've called and left messages and I haven't heard from them, but Peter's called and left them messages and they have a steady dialogue. So, and vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, so if you find that you're burning yourself out doing some of those things, maybe asking a partner, either in your brokerage or just somebody to also follow up. It helps to work some of those leads, if you will, a little bit more.
Yeah,
totally agree. It happened to us 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. And it's almost like this person must be important if multiple people are reaching out to me.
Right.
You know? Peter, my assistant, will call you.
I know Maddie's important, so if I'm getting a call from her assistant, I'm happy. Yeah. I mean, to set this up to get her here today, forget about it.
Right?
Had to go through like 10 people. And
you had to buy me Eggs Benedict.
Yeah.
It was
a whole
goodness.
ordeal.
Oh, there was a whole plan. I got you.
Of course.
We went walking over the causeway.
Was I too easy then? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Peter texted me this morning at like 8 o'clock and was like, "Hey, can you be here at 10 o'clock?" And I said, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
Can you cruise by?
Yeah, stop by or don't. I don't care.
I don't really care. Whatever you want.
One other thing I wanted to talk about, and it's we're talking about getting referrals, asking for the referral, and I'm gonna look at my notes for this just because I don't want to do it a disservice. In the past 5 years, there was a year where I was a financial advisor. You know that.
Yep. And
Nate was actually a client of mine.
It's true.
I got him into a great program and some great life insurance, you know. So, and if you don't have life insurance and you have kids, you should talk to a financial service representative ASAP. That's my...
This is your advice?
No, you really should. So, same with mortgage. protection.
Right.
It goes to life insurance. If you own a home and something happens to you and you can't pay that loan off, you don't want to leave that loan with your heirs to try to battle. So talk to a financial advisor, talk to a life insurance agent, and find out what your options are for protecting your heirs from having to get stuck with that mortgage.
Yeah, and I don't even sell it anymore, but I'm still an advocate.
Sure, and I don't sell it at all, and I'm an advocate.
Yeah. But anyhow, so in that industry, there's this guy named Bill Cates, Cates, and I've always admired this guy. He created a method called the VIPS method, VIPS, and every financial advisor across the country uses this.
Okay.
And each letter stands for something. The V stands for value. So you call a former client and you start talking. You don't go right into it and ask for business, but you chit chat for a while. And at some point you say, hey, let me ask you, when we did business together, did I provide value to you? And they're going to say yes. And then from there you go to I, important, and you say, well, I have something important to ask you. Because if it's important, they're going to, really listen. Yeah. And then from there you go to the P and you ask for permission. Is it okay? Can I have your permission? Can we brainstorm? And do you know anybody in your sphere, family, friend, coworker, that is looking to buy or sell a house? I'm using it for real estate now.
Sure.
But we would do it for other reasons. We would say, is there anybody that you know that needs help with a 529, or do they need to roll over a 401k, or do they need some life insurance? So now I use this now for real estate, and I'll say, hey, do you know anybody that's looking to buy or sell? And a lot of times they'll be like, no, I really don't know anybody. Well, and then they say, well, let's think about it. And at this point, what I've done, and this is it may sound creepy, but it's not. You'll look them up. You'll check them out on LinkedIn or Facebook, and you'll see where they work. Mm-hmm. And let's say they work for Harris. And let's say you have a mutual connection, like Joe Smith, who is the vice president. And you might have saw something like he got a new job, or they're going to be moving or something. And be like, well, I saw Joe Smith might be moving. Is there any way you can set up an appointment? And then you suggest, that's this S, the suggest. And at the end you ask for a favor, because nobody wants to not do you a favor. When you say, can you do a favor for me? A lot of people really want to do a favor for you, especially if it's,
of course.
I mean, if Nate calls me, I always ask, well, what is it?
Yeah.
First.
I'm confused. Are there two S's? It's VIPSS?
No, it's just VIPS.
So between the permission
to brainstorm, and then you suggest the names.
Okay, so there wasn't an S in between those two.
No.
Okay, so the stalking wasn't part of it.
No, the stalking is not part of it. That's just part of you doing your research.
I got you.
You're asking for a coworker. You may already know.
You know what? Going off of stalking.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Going off creepiness. When I door knock, I hear someone's dog barking.
Right.
I'm going to bring them some dog treats.
Yeah.
I'll bring them, first off, I'll bring them like maybe a little cupcake or a cookie, because who doesn't like that? And
for
then
the dog?
For the human. For the human.
Trying to kill the dog.
Chocolate.
You like your dog? Well, too bad. It's gone now. No, I've brought this fella probably 3 different bags of dog treats by now. But no, he's really sweet, and it actually works out pretty well. I mean, I've fattened them dogs up, and I
love this.
Yeah, but no, definitely going off of like figuring out what people like, if for a Harris situation or whatever, just figuring out what they like, and then maybe making something just tailored to that, or like finding something like, I'll do this a lot. I'll say, I have a buyer for your house, but I don't, obviously. But if you have like, if maybe they are thinking about moving and they're like, oh, you do have a buyer for my house? And then you could be like, yeah, look, this new house is only 5 minutes away from Harris, so you can easily move into, it's vacant, blah, 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 whatever. Just kind of piggybacking off of that. But yeah, I guess on the topic of door knocking now.
Yeah, I have it on the list, because I know you do a lot of it, because you do pop by gifts and you door knock.
Yeah. So I'll make like, if there's like a holiday around the corner or something, like I'll make like a little Valentine's goodie bag with like some random stuff in it, my card attached to it. If there's an open house, I like to do like the details for the open house and then just like attach my business card to it. And there's a QR code on there that will have a value. You can scan it for evaluation of your house, the cupcakes, the cookies. And then for Easter, I did something with like pastels. I've passed out water bottles. I've had a lot of people yell at me, or a couple people yell at me, but it's only because they're unhappy with their own life.
Right.
I love that. You know that.
You know, if people are projecting on you, it is not your problem. It is just what's going on with their everyday life, which is fine. Off topic. But I feel like door knocking has helped me a lot because I'm not from here. So I don't really have like a huge sphere like you guys have. I know you guys aren't from here too, but you guys have been here for a while. And you do have that to tap into. But I think just getting my name out there at least is the easiest way that I've come across is just door knocking. I'm hoping I won't be kidnapped one day. But
hey, I have faith in you. I know you're working hard, and I see you always getting the Popeye gifts together and putting thought into it.
No, it's fun too, and I actually like. Some people hate door knocking. I'm gonna take you door knocking with me sometime, Peter.
I haven't done it since 2019.
It's kind of fun. 2019.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just pure old fashioned. No, I'm always ready to go. So I like to feel like I have this confidence where I've been here since 2015, and I like to say to myself, everybody already knows me in Brevard, but they don't. But I just walk everywhere like they do. Yeah. You know? So like when I walk into a restaurant or a bar, I'm like, in my head, I've got like this thing. I'm like, oh, great. Somebody's probably going to ask for an autograph now or something.
I get it.
Great. I'm the local celebrity.
Right.
Great.
Right. But I really feel like that. I know I've worked on the know you part. So now I just want to make sure everybody gets to know me even more, like me, and then trust me. Mm-hmm. And I know they will. I know I can make them laugh, right? Mm-hmm. Got that going for me.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Kidding.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
I am a tough crowd over here.
Yeah. I also like sometimes having a trusted friend, and I've got some people in the office that I always talk to. I always talk to Maddie. Mm-hmm. You know, what do you think about this? And I know you and I have this. And if I ever do something that is a marketing technique and it's not good, I want to know about that too.
Right.
One thing I'm not a huge fan of, and I know everybody does it, is like these like spam emails. Because I feel like, and I would never say don't do them, because the worst thing that's going to happen is they're just going to delete it, which is what I do.
Sure.
Or unsubscribe.
That's
the worst.
Right.
Yeah.
But there are people that will open them and read them. But that's just not me. Or the spam text messages. I got one of those from you once, and I gave him a whole lot of grief over it.
That's what friends are for.
Right.
We gotta keep each other.
But I just don't think that's ever a way to like approach anybody. I don't. I really feel like laser focus who you want to hit and do like a coffee clutch or like a group happy hour, and you're gonna have to spend some money. You know, but that's sure. You're gonna be getting close to this group or these clients or these friends, and that's gonna eventually lead to more business for sure.
Definitely, yeah. Build that sphere.
Exactly.
Build that pipeline.
Right. Well, every person knows 10 to 15 realtors, right?
Are they as cool as us though?
No.
No.
Definitely not.
We have an investor event coming up.
Okay.
I'd like to tell you guys about. It's for anybody, really. So if you're if you want to know about investing, if you have no idea, or if you already know a lot about it and you want some refreshers or whatever, Lindsay Whitney will be teaching an investor course. So it's going to be the third Thursday of each month.
That's awesome.
We'll have food and drinks and all that stuff.
I know Nate has something to say about that because he's got a loan program tailored just towards investors.
Yes.
We do. So debt service coverage ratio loans are designed for investors, and it's a no income verifier. So we just look at the rental projections, or if there's already a renter in there, we look at what the rental income is, and it's 100% just based off of cash flow.
Okay.
So perfect program for investors that want to build their portfolio or somebody that owns a home that wants to become an investor. This is a great opportunity for them to do so as long as that property cash flows.
Yeah.
How much do you have to put down on that? 20?
So it's 20% down payment, 640 minimum credit score. And really, other than that, it's just a matter of making sure, again, that the property cash flows. That's the biggest piece of it. Okay. The entire loan's just built around the cash flow. Okay. But if you've got at least a 640 credit score and 20% down payment, it's an opportunity for you to either grow your investment portfolio or begin to grow a portfolio.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think this was awesome. I definitely want to do this again with just you two.
Really?
Just us?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, and the cameras and the microphones and
The
all
lights,
that stuff. Yeah.
purple lights.
The rest of you guys.
No, this was
here.
great.
Just Peter and Maddie.
Yeah.
You guys can all leave it.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
You guys did great, and I'm really grateful for the time you've given me. So.
Of course.
Thank you, Peter.
Appreciate you, man.
All right.